G'day folks, I'm Frank, welcome to the Bike Show. Now on tonight's show we'll take out the Triumph Sprint and give that a run. And we'll also go and meet a lady who's 70 years young and is just getting into Harley Davidsons. But first up, the Shell Oil Series for 1995 Australian Championships was recently held at Lakeside. We went out there a few days before race day and spoke to a few of the competitors. Let's go see what they had to say. Well, up here at Lakeside, we thought we'd get the jump on the rest of them, come out a couple of days early and speak to a few of the competitors while they're not so busy. Race day up here is hectic, as you know. Now, one of the things that you people have asked for is to see more lady riders. Well, I've not only found you a lady rider, I've found you a lady racer. This is Rebecca Belbin. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Where are you from?
Originally Tassie, but I've been based for Melbourne for 5 years now.
And how long have you been racing the bikes?
Well, I started off-road racing in Tassie, and when we relocated to Victoria, I didn't have a dirt bike, and that sort of ended that for a while, and then I got into road racing.
Now, what class are you racing here in the road racing?
250 production racing.
And how do you go for sponsors? Do you find as a female you're doing all right with sponsors, or do you find it even harder?
It was hard from the start. Probably too because I wasn't particularly fast, but I'm a lot faster now, and I've got a really good sponsor base with it.
And how are you actually going? Where are you placing in these races?
Well, the first round was at Eastern Creek. I think we had about 58 entries. I qualified 30th, but I ended up getting 15th in the first race and 13th in the second.
Oh, doing well.
I'm getting there. Just that top 10's a little bit elusive at the moment.
Now, I also heard a little rumour just before that you don't mind a bit of drag racing either.
Oh, yes.
You've been known to do some drag racing?
Yeah, I go out in drag occasionally.
No, this is a family show. We can't talk about that sort of thing.
Okay.
No, seriously, you've been doing some drag racing. What have you been racing there?
It's a pro stock... I'll start that again.
All right, try again. It's a pro stock
motorcycle.
Yeah.
GSXR 1294cc, I think. it's pretty
this
new.
Lady's riding a 1294cc, and us guys has got to sort of, don't get us too far ahead of us.
I've sort of got a bit to go on that yet. That's a new project, but it's working out really well.
You're really getting into this bike racing.
Oh, look, I'm addicted to bikes.
So what would you say to any girl out there who was thinking of, I'd like to get my bike licence?
Go for it. It's the best thing I ever did. So it's a real lifestyle now.
Oh, good on you. All right, Rebecca, thanks for your time. I know you've got work here to do. Folks, we'll get round and have a chat to a few more people here and try and get the jump on some of the other television people that are here. Let's get round. Well, we've got another victim for the Bike Show cameras. This here is James Armstrong. How are you, James?
Good, thanks, mate.
Mate, where are you from?
Perth.
Perth, long way from Perth.
Very long way.
Mate, now I hear you've been doing a few good things with the bikes. You've knocking over a few records here and there, and...
Yeah, I set a new local lap record around Wanneroo for a 125 at a 65 flat.
And how are you doing here?
Oh, not too bad. I'm running around in sixes, about a second off the pace.
Now, my understanding is that you can't be beaten at the moment.
Not around WA, no.
And what about here? You've got something done with the points, where you've got the points tables tied up as well, haven't you, at the moment?
I have in WA. I've got the state title tied up with a round to go. So that's one with the round still in my pocket.
Yeah. Have you raced here in Queensland before?
No, never been here before.
You've never been to Lakeside before?
Never been
What do you
before.
think of the track?
It's good. It reminds me of home.
Yeah?
Yeah, conditions are about the same as Perth. Different layout, but the surface is about the same.
Yeah, what do you think of this Hungry Corner we got down here?
Hungry Corner, it's good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's good. If you can get hooked up in there really good, wind the gas on, it's fast.
Now, you're running the 125. How's the bike been going? Has it been giving you any trouble at all, or...?
No, actually, it's been pretty good. I've run the same tyres since Sydney, so it's going to be good to get out there on some fresh rubber tomorrow.
Yeah?
Had a bit of a problem with, I think you call it the Southern Loop. A bit of patter through there, but I fixed that just 5 minutes ago, so it's coming together well.
Now, you've not been racing all that long, have you?
No, 2 years. Actually less, because this is the start of my second year.
And this particular bike here, you've only had for 4 months?
4 months, yeah.
And you've tied up the Western Australian titles with it?
Yeah.
Yeah, look out, folks, we've got one here to be reckoned with. So you're going to give them heaps this weekend?
I'm going to try. I'm going to see if I can finish in that top 5 group. Fast company, but I'll give it a go.
Oh, good on you. All right, James, thanks very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Give them hell this weekend, mate.
I will.
Come on, folks, let's go see what else we can find. Well, you didn't think I'd come out to Lakeside and not go to the sidecar tent, did you? Here we've got Derek Rumble and his passenger Stacey. Now, we've spoken to Derek heaps, so we're going to ignore him for a minute. How are you, Stacey?
Good, mate, not too bad.
Mate, how's your weekend been out here?
Real good. We're on the pace at the moment, sort of thing, which is the main thing. 2 more days to go, so...
How's the bike running?
Good, mate, real good.
So what, you're going to do a bit of kicking ass out here this weekend, or what?
Sunday, mate.
Sunday is your day?
Yeah.
All right, good on you. Derek, how's the race team been going in general?
Pretty good. I mean, as you know, we've got all the mobile assistants this year. We've also had the influx of one of the best known bloody sidecar rider in Australia, who's the chassis man. He owns a chassis. With his influx and mobile's influx, we've got an unbeatable team, really.
The man he's talking about out of shot here is Andre Bosman, of all people. Andre, would you like to come into shot? How are you, mate?
Not bad, Frank, yourself?
Oh, pretty good, pretty good. Mate, I hear this rumour that you're maybe moving to Queensland.
Anything's possible.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
Does that mean if we get you up here in Queensland, we might sort of see you on a racetrack up here?
Even that's possible.
Even that's
Very
possible. He's not going to give me much information here, is he? All right, well, let's get off that for a subject for a second. Mate, question I want to ask you. What do you ride? What's at home in your garage as your personal bike?
Ducati. Nice red Ducati.
Okay, I can understand you've got the Ducati for the handling. Is there anything else about the bike that particularly impresses you?
Oh, yeah, it's the 851 4-valve. It's just like a race engine, really. It's built for the street.
Yeah.
Very nice bike to ride. Very, very nice.
Mate, and also you made mention before of the oil companies starting to come in and back a bit of the sidecar racing. It's good to see, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's very good to see people like Mobil and like Shell have been doing it for a while, and Mobil's only sort of just starting to come in with the likes of Derek and our team and that, but no, we need a little bit of help along the sponsor side of things, but it's good that, you know, they get behind us and the sidecars actually picking themselves up a little bit as well because of it.
Oh, good on them. It's not hard to pick who the sponsor is here, is it, folks? I mean, we'd have no idea who's sponsoring this particular team. There's a lot more here with sidecars. Now, next door to us in the tent beside us, we've got the competition for these guys, the Team Porteous. We've got Gavin Porteous over here. Gavin, would you like to come into shot? All right, Derek, move down a fraction, bring Gavin in. Mate, how's it been going for you guys?
Not a problem at this stage. We've got a few little dramas, but nothing sort of major, and everything's going really well.
And you're going to give these boys a run for their money this weekend?
Oh, I think so. I think the Kawasaki's working really good, and Avon tyres that we've got on it from Chivos, they're working well.
Yeah.
And the Shell fuel in it. No worries.
Shell and Mobil, I can see this becoming a competition. Mate, let's just bring your riders in here as well and introduce
Peter
them
Guest, he's riding the bike for me.
Peter Guest, how are you, Peter?
Yeah, Scott Desmond.
And Scott Desmond, how are you, mate?
Good.
So, how are you guys feeling this week? You feeling nice and confident?
Yeah, good fun to ride. Pity the fences are so close, but apart from that, it's all...
Yeah, Lakeside's a bit that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you guys run up here before? You must have.
I've ridden here about half a dozen times on solos, superbikes before.
Yes?
Yeah, it's the first meeting on a sidecar.
You're going to have a great time, you really are. I notice also over here, working on his bike very hard, we've got Darren Treloar.
Yeah.
Now, he's the current Australian Speedway champion, and he swapped over to road racing, and he's going to try and do it back to back.
Yeah.
Now, what do you reckon his chances are, fellas? Is he going to take it or what?
He's got as good a chance as anybody, I suppose.
Put it this way, between you and me, we've got a couple of cartons on it.
Oh, all right.
So we hope he doesn't do it.
No gambling on the bike show. Hello, who have we got walked into shot here? How are you, mate?
This is Murray Stronach, he's from Western Australia.
How are you, mate? Sidecar runner as well?
Don't stand in front
Tell you
of
what, see over here, that's the camera that's filming us. Come back into... Oh, we've blown him out. He's run away.
Yeah, he's run back to the...
Sorry, I've just come unplugged on the sound. No, I haven't. I've still got sound. All right, folks, we've messed up this interview. That's about the end of it for us. Let's get round and show some racing.
Of the carousel, head their way up over the top of the new section.
Well, there you go, folks. Another great day up at Lakeside. Now, how's the guy who walked in the middle of the sidecar interview? There's one in every crowd, isn't there? Okay, if you want to see more of the actual racing itself and the results from the racing, there's a new show on Bruce 31 called Pit Pass. It's on a Thursday night. Check it out. You'll be pleasantly surprised. Now, well, Peter Spencer took out the 900 Triumph Sprint and gave it a bit of a test ride. Let's go see what he's got to say about it.
In the last season, we brought you the Triumph Thunderbird. And from all the letters we got, it appears you guys out there really like Triumphs. So, here's another one. This one is the Triumph 900 Sprint. Triumph classify this bike as a sports tourer and claim that it's taking sales off bikes like the ZZR 1100 and the CBR 1000. However, as this test will show, I'm not really too sure about that. I think it's probably more in the line of something like the Yamaha Diversion, or maybe probably sort of the BMW K75, K100 series. Technically, the bike is very much in line with the other Triumphs. From the front, it has very good brakes, the typical Triumph brakes, which are very responsive and have a very positive feel. The engine is the 900 Triple. However, this one has fairly high gearing, more in the line of its touring role, and the engine itself seems reasonably lazy and doesn't seem to produce a great deal of torque. Indeed, it seems to be fairly detuned compared to the Thunderbird, which had exactly the same engine that we trialled last year. The suspension of the bike is quite soft, really, and is very good over fairly large bumps and potholes that we have in some of our roads around here. The body styling is very nice. It's got the half fairing, it's got beautiful paintwork, as you can see, and has got some fairly reasonable nice curves to the bike itself. On the road, they claim it's a sports tourer. As a sports bike, I'm not really confident that it's up there with what it claims to be its competition. It tends to be a bit lazy with its engine, and the response as you come out of corners is not all that particularly good, and the bike has to be driven fairly hard to really get all that much enjoyment out of corners. As a touring bike, the bike seems to be fairly light. The gearing is very high, which allows for fairly easy riding, but it tends to be affected by wind, which was a problem that we had coming here, and the centre of gravity seems to be a little bit too high for what you'd expect for a good touring bike. Triumph have told me that this is probably their most popular bike after the Thunderbird. Generally, I quite like the bike, but it's not really my style of bike. For those people whose style of machine it is, I think that it'd do what they want it to do very well, and that they would really enjoy riding it and owning it. In conclusion, thanks very much to Phil Beaumonts for providing us with the machine, and of course to Swan, who provide us with our insurance. I'm Pete Spencer. Until next time, ride safe.
Thanks, Peter. Folks, a couple of weeks ago I was lucky enough to be lent the Triumph 900 Sprint for a weekend by Phil Beaumont Motorcycles over there at Maine. And listen, if there's anybody there at Triumph watching, I want that bike. Please, who do I have to kill to get one? They are the bike on the road as far as I'm concerned. Nothing comes near them. Right, now we're off to see a little old lady who loves Harley Davidsons. Well, the once accepted image of the motorcyclist was the long beard, the glasses, the tattoos, the rings, and the general tough guy image. But things have changed. My, how they've changed. Now, today I'm speaking to Lila, who's going out for a ride with Eagle Harley Tours. How are you, Lila?
Good, thank you.
Now, my understanding of this is you're 70 years of age?
Yes, that's right.
And someone gave you a ride on a Harley for your 69th birthday?
Yeah, my family. Up to the Coomera Valley.
What prompted them to do that?
Well, they knew I always liked motorbikes.
Mm-hmm.
And they've seen, you know, it on a calendar about tours. And they decided to ask me would I like a ride.
And you've been out, you've been out a number of times since then though, haven't you?
Oh yes, in the 14 months I've been to a lot of places.
Have you always been out? This is Mike, by the way, from Eagle Harley Tours. Have you always been going out with Mike on the bike, or have you been out with the other boys?
Mostly with Mike and with Peter.
Right, and how do you find going out on the bike with them?
Well, I enjoy it, you know. I find Mike's a good rider.
Yeah.
And I feel very comfortable. And they were all good riders, you know, and I really enjoy it.
That's good.
It's very exciting.
And how do you find Lila as a pillion passenger, Mike?
The lady from hell.
The lady from hell. What, she get out and give these car drivers a bit of a hard time, or is she...
Oh, no, she's pretty good.
Yeah?
She sits back there, hopefully not smiling too much.
Now, today you're going from the Gold Coast to Toowoomba, is that correct? You're going up to see the family?
Yeah, I'm going to see my granddaughter she's going to meet me at Sizzlers. She works there.
How do they feel about you jumping on the back of a Harley and roaring up to Toowoomba from the Gold Coast?
Well, she's thrilled about it, and she said, oh, I'm her wild grandmother.
Her wild grandmother. Yeah, good on you. Good on you. Now, also, I understand your eventual aim with this is to do a trip, say, from Brisbane to the Snowy Mountains on the back of a Harley or something similar.
Yeah, I'd like to.
What prompted you to want to do something like that?
Well, I read about how nice it is in the summer to go around the Snowy, and I thought, you know, if I could, it'd be a lovely trip.
Okay, I'll rephrase the question. Why do you want to go on a Harley? I mean, there's bus tours, or you could go by car, or any of that sort of thing. What's so special about going down on the Harley?
Well, you see more on the back of a Harley, and it's more exciting.
Oh, good on you, good on you. Well, listen, we'll come out with you for a little ride today and follow you part of the way. Folks, we're going to put this on the road, head up towards Toowoomba, and we'll get some shots of the lady and the gentleman on their bike, and, well, let's go have some fun on the road. Let's go for a ride. Well, we've stopped for a coffee break at the BP garage just on the Warrego Highway on the way to Toowoomba. How are you enjoying the ride so far, Lila?
Fabulous.
Fabulous? You're having a good time out there, are you?
Beautiful. The wind and everything blowing in their face. It's lovely.
Every time we pass you, I notice you've got this really big cheesy grin on your face. You truly do enjoy getting on the back of these bikes, don't you?
Yeah, nothing like a Harley.
Now, you were saying nothing like a Harley. There you go, so a little bit biased. You were saying before that you'd like to have your own bike.
Yes.
Is this something you're going to pursue? Do you think you will eventually have your own bike?
I've got to learn to ride first.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether you can ride. I'd like to have a Heritage.
A Heritage Softail? Oh, there you go, a lady with some taste.
And,
wouldn't we all like to have a Heritage Softail? Yeah.
Yes, but I don't think you're allowed. I think you've got to ride a 250
Yeah,
first.
you need to start off in your 250,
Yeah.
but I mean, it only takes you a couple of years to get through and get your open licence.
Yeah, but I'm 70 and, you know...
Oh, yeah, but I mean, look at the lease on life you've got. You've been out there with this big grin on your face all day, and you're obviously having a great time. I can think of nothing better than seeing you out on the road with your own bike. And will we, the Ulysses Club, come and find this lady, help her get a licence. There you go, another member for the Ulysses Club. Have you ever been to a rally or anything like that?
Only to a religious one, the Great Southeast, I think it is.
Yeah, yeah.
It's once a year at I think it's Waterford.
Yeah, at Waterford, yeah, I know the rally you're talking about.
I just went up there for my son took me up there.
Right. Could you
Just
ever see
once.
yourself going to, say, something like Arachula or Purga Creek or anything like that and dancing the night away with all the people?
Well, it would be nice.
It would be nice. Oh, there you go. Come on, somebody from Ulysses Club, take this lady to a rally, you know. All right, well, listen, thank you very much for letting us come out today with you. I've enjoyed the ride, and obviously you're having a lot of fun. Now, you're going to continue up to Toowoomba to see your family.
Yes.
We're going to peel off, folks, and head back to Brisbane. I have other work to do, such a drama. But being as we've come out today with Eagle Harley Tours, and, well, I feel it's something we should go and have a look at more along the lines of these Harley tour groups. So maybe we'll do a follow-up story and get two of the bigger companies and find out what's involved with having a Harley tour operation. All right, well, let's move on, see what else we can find for you. Thanks very much, Lala.
Right, thank you.
Countersteering is the single most important skill you need to know to ride a motorcycle. Basically, it's a steering technique, and believe it or not, how it works is if you want to turn your motorcycle to the right, you need to initiate the turn by steering to the left. What that does is shifts the centre of gravity of the bike to the right-hand side of the bike as the bike starts to fall, and centrifugal force of the front wheel will cause the wheel to finally follow around to the right. I'll give you a demonstration. What we're going to do is simulate a right-hand turn. To initiate the right-hand turn, we put pressure on the handlebars to turn the front wheel to the left. You notice the bike immediately starts to fall to the right. As it falls to the right and is still going in basically a straight line, the wheel will commence to come around to the right to actually steer the bike through the right-hand bend. As I said, countersteering is vital as a skill that you must understand.
Here at the Bike Show, we go to great lengths to find you all sorts of bikes. We will look at any bike. And today we're looking at a bike some of you may never have heard of. It's a Buell, and it belongs to a man called Alan Smith down at Sandgate. How are you, mate?
Not too bad, thanks.
Mate, the Buell, can you give us any information on it? It's a Harley-Davidson motor, which is obvious. What else can you tell us about the bike?
Yes, they're made in America by a company called Buell that has just recently sort of had a major shareholding taken over by Harley-Davidson, so they've had a good cash inflow at the moment to help produce the models. Basically a combination of a lot of different products, all white power shock absorbers, white power forks.
How do you find the bike itself handles? It's very reminiscent of Ducati sort of lines, is it?
Very similar.
Very similar in handling.
Yeah.
Now, we've got a 1200 Harley motor in this.
Yes.
Yeah, you find that gives you the power you want for this sort of bike?
Yeah, plenty of power.
What prompted you to buy a Buell? I mean, where did you get a Buell? There's none of them in this country. You've got the first one that's registered here, haven't you?
Yes, that's right.
So, where did you get a Buell? Why did you get a Buell?
Well, we just happened to be in America early this year, and we sort of passed one of the Harley shops, and they had a range of them in there. This is the first year this new style model's been available, so we bought it.
Yeah, good value. Did you have much trouble bringing it back into the country with all the different imports and prices stuff to bring stuff back in the country?
Oh, exchange rates weren't very favourable, but government departments aren't very helpful, but all in all it's been a 3-month battle, but it's finally here and registered on the road.
And I see it's only got 200 k's on the clock. You don't take it... Oh, 200 miles. Ah, Speedo with miles per hour. Haven't seen them for a while.
No, you're not meant to be in there. Yeah, very hard to sort of get a good feeling how it goes, but we have done a couple 100 miles on it.
Yeah.
Traders plates and a few things just to get it sorted out.
Now, I've seen this bike at a number of shows around the place. Do you do many of the shows?
No, just coincidence.
Just coincidence? Yeah. Oh, well, fair enough. Fair enough. Keep your eyes open for this one, folks. This is a good-looking bike. We'll go over a bit closer with the camera. I'm sure while we've had this conversation, there's been heaps of inserts showing you points on the bike, but if there's not, we'll do it now. We'll do that and move on. Let's go. Well, folks, that's just about the end of the show for this week. Join us next week. We're going to go and check out some vintage motorcycles up at Ipswich, and Peter Spencer will be talking to the Army Racing team. But until then, watch out for them damn cars and ride free. Well, g'day folks, this week's Bikes for Sale is brought to you by Crazy Frank's Used Motorcycles. Now, first up for you, we've got the GSX 1100 1981 model. Now, this little bike is a beauty. It was owned by a little old man who used to ride to church on Sundays, then it was owned by me, so it's slightly stuffed. But let me run down some of the features on this bike for you. A motor, yeah, it's got one of those. Tires, it's a bonus, man. It's got 2 of those. Speedo reading, I don't like to get that close to guys. Registration, well, it's not a pedigree, so I never bothered. Roadworthy, yeah, the freeway's all right, but the rest can beg. Now, if you want to be involved with a little gem like this, you give me a call right here on 1-800-SUCKER. And if you call me today, right now, I will throw in for you free of charge, air in the tires, and this free dent in the tank. So call me here on 1-800-SUCKER.